So I finally got the engine from my buddy's house, and it is now at my house. I put it on the stand, and in that same night I got excited that I actually have it, and I started to work on it. I did most of the boring part, like, taking it apart, disassembling most of it. Really, it was just tedious because, I labeled all the bolts, I put them in baggies just to keep things a little bit organized. Basically, I want to go through the harder steps with you guys and show you like how to do certain things, and just enjoy watching the build. Today I have planned to take off the crank dampener bolt. I heard it was really hard to get off and it was a pain in the butt, so I purchased a gun from Milwaukee. It's an impact tool, and hopefully it's good enough to take it off, but we'll see. So right now I'm going to set up the motor, put it towards the center of the garage, and then organize things, and then we can start working on it. So we're using this gun, if people are wondering and needed help taking off the bolt, if this actually works. Hopefully it actually works. Let's see if it's charged all the way. Yep. And then you have two settings, 1 and 2. 2 would obviously be the stronger one. Also, I've been spraying this PB blaster. It's pretty good with breaking hard bolts and loosening them. I just spray it every 10 minutes or so, and it should work. This stuff is really good, and that gun is supposed to be good, so hopefully we can get this thing off. Here goes nothing. Yo! Now that seemed pretty damn easy. It's like really dry in there, so. The reason I doubted this gun is because I actually purchased a gun from Home Depot, and it was one you plug into the wall, and it had like 250 pounds or something like 400 pounds of torque, and it just wasn't strong enough. I used it on the VHR 370Z engine I was working on before this, and it just left me hanging. So normally you would see people that use the air tool impact, and that really works good, normally first try all the time, but this one actually did me really well. Gotta give it to them, Milwaukee. So now I kind of want to prep the engine to be cleaned and painted. I don't know if I'll get to the paint today, but we will try to get as much work done as possible. Before I start, I know you guys may be wondering why and what the hell are these foam things doing here, and like what the wood is doing. I'm really nervous with stands. I don't like engine stands like these, but I wanted to try it out, and just for safe measures I want to keep something to hold it, or to maybe save it if possible. But as you can see, I got washers here. I don't know, I just don't really feel safe about stands, but I heard they work good. I've seen a lot of shops use them, so I'm just trying to be safe than sorry. It was quite expensive, so I want to take care of it as best as I can. Okay, so now we have to finish taking off the crank pulley, but the only way to do that is to have a crank puller, which is a tool that you can actually buy at the store, or you can make something. Basically, I made something. I had a piece of wood, and what I did is I used the 2 long bolts from the water pump, and what I did if you can see inside there, I've wedged a socket in there, and it gives it like leverage to push out. So let's see how far we can get with pulling it out. See, now we bottomed out, as you can see here. So what you do is you loosen it back up. We will put a larger socket to have more leverage from. Okay, here you can get a better look. There's the socket, and here are the bolts. You basically measure them or put a Sharpie, mark them, and then try to drill them. I'm gonna get a bigger socket and we should finish this up. And when I meant bigger socket, I meant basically a longer socket, like a deep socket. Put it like this, put it in. You kind of loosely screw it with your fingers until the socket touches the flat part of the wood, and then you can continue. Don't lose the socket. Alrighty, there you go. Here it is, crank dampener. It's quite heavy. Put this on the ground real quick. So you can see there's quite a bit of oil. I guess the swelling of the plastic may have swelled up, or the dampener kept scratching it, because you can see it's kind of melted right here. But as far as everything else, should be good. We're gonna just take off the front pieces, the plastic, the timing belt, and possibly the gears, not sure yet, and we can get to the oil pump and continue taking off the water pump, and then we should be quite finished. I just want to get it prepped and ready to be degreased and scrubbed down. I want to make sure it's really good and the surface is really clean, not to mention I'm gonna paint over it, so if the surface isn't good, then it's just gonna come out crappy and it would be no point and a waste of time. But we'll see how it comes out with me degreasing it myself and scrubbing it, and if it doesn't come out the way I like it, then I guess I'm gonna have to take it to a machine shop, but that would suck because it would be quite pricey, but we'll just see. So now I'm gonna speed this up and basically take off all the front accessories. This is actually a brand new belt. Oh yeah, this is definitely brand new. Wow. So it was changed quite recently. That's cool. I'm not gonna use it anyways. I'm gonna use the Gates Performance belt. So I guess it won't matter, but I guess it's cool to have an extra. Now for the tensioner, you need a actual like Allen key looking socket, and this size is actually it's a 10. Looks pretty good. Alrighty, and here goes the water pump. And that's also another reason why I have this trash can here, because then anything that falls I can, like whether it's bolts or whether it's liquid, I can easily get to. This gear here is also a pain in the butt. Okay, so these two holes are a different size. So this will not work no more as far as the bolts. Now if I can find, you know, a smaller bolt, then I can possibly get this off, because you need to get this off before you actually get the oil pump, this whole piece. So unfortunately I had to run to Ace Hardware to get two screws, because the ones I used for the water pump didn't work because they're too thick, and this is a different size. So really quick, I'm going to take measurements and make two different holes, because the diameter is a lot shorter than this one that I previously made. I'm going to do that real quick, and we're going to get this thing off. Alright, so I cut another block. It's separate from the one I used from the crank dampener. I thought it'd just be easier maybe if one of my buddies needed it, because I have two other buddies doing the same project. So they might need it. I wedged just some piece of metal in there just to get it out away, so I can possibly put maybe a socket or something a little bit smaller than a socket to get it off. Okay, it doesn't look like much, because kinda isn't, but it's still a lot. I was able to get a nice gap from it, but it's getting harder just because it keeps bottoming out inside. So I have to like put washers and put like different size sockets, but surely but slowly it'll come off. Alrighty, so I went to go grab something to eat. I kind of left off here. I grabbed more washers and I kind of made an adjustment here. We're basically almost off. It's just right there, but it's on really tight because it's supposed to be. I had to, you know, bring out the lights just because of daylight saving. It gets dark really early, so just working with what I have. Once we get this off, then we'll go for the oil pump and we'll probably call it a night. And there we go. I did all the bolts for the oil pump, so those are all off now. And then I kind of forgot that I need to loosen the crankcase, or the lower crankcase, or what you call the oil pan, lower oil pan, whatever you'd like to call it. But that would be the only way to try and get this out nice and easy. I'm not sure if I'm gonna reuse it, but it's kind of getting late and I didn't want to really tackle that part today, so we're gonna possibly do that in the next video. As far as parts, I should be purchasing them within 2 weeks. Nothing too crazy, just a couple things, and it could be even sooner, just because I have school and work to juggle, so it's kind of difficult, and also working on the engine and getting progress done. I'm gonna probably end the video here, but most likely we are definitely gonna be finishing the oil pump, the pan, and degreasing it, scrubbing it, and possibly, if we have daylight, we can paint it. As far as that goes, if you guys have any questions, leave a comment below, like the video, and thank you for watching.